And before I get started, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our newest member of the CAB Board, our Deputy County Executive, Daniel Lynch.
Thank you,
Welcome
Bruce.
aboard.
Thank you.
And with that being said, I'll take the attendance. Dan Lynch, Deputy County Executive, Bruce Hidley, County Clerk, and Andrew Joyce, Chair of the Legislature. Now, for the approval of the October 28, 2019 minutes, Mr. Lynch will have to abstain from that as he was not a member of the board at that time, so I will entertain a motion to accept the October 28, 2019 minutes.
Motion.
You'll second it.
Second.
No, he'll second it. You can't. You weren't here.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Minutes are accepted. So first on the agenda, we have today contract number 5202. The department is probation. The vendor is Satellite Tracking of People LLC. The estimated amount is $90,000. The estimated term is 1 year. The fiscal impact is 100%. And the scope of service is quite lengthy, so I'm just going to open this up for comments or questions.
Good afternoon.
If you give us a little explanation.
Yes, this really drilled down to new legislation, bail reform, which enables courts to utilize additional conditions of release for persons that are arrested. In addition to enhanced community supervision, the court is authorized to order people on some type of electronic monitoring, specifically GPS. We have an existing contract. We've been utilizing GPS for several years in the county. The current rate is $3.10 a day, and that's under state contract, and I'm looking to extend the contract through next year with additional money to add to it for this service.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the program. Next on the agenda is contract number 5183. Department is the Sheriff's Department. The vendor is J. McBain Incorporated. The estimated amount is $97,984. The estimated term is 11/1/19 through 12/31/20. The scope of service, the contract won a bid to provide electrical service for a new pre-engineered warehouse storage building at our public safety building in Clarksville, New York. It is 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
That's me. So as you may be aware, we're doing a reconstruction project at our public safety warehouse and our public safety building in Clarksville. Part of the process is construction of a warehouse, a storage facility for some of our equipment, and it requires electricity for heat and light and such. So this particular vendor submitted a bid and won the bid.
Any other comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 5187. This department is the Sheriff's Department. The vendor is Colonial Cleaners. The estimated amount is $61,158. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/22. The scope of service, the vendor will provide dry cleaning services for the Sheriff's Department and a correctional facility. As a result of the bid, it's 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
That is also me. Pretty self-explanatory. Colonial Cleaners submitted the lowest bid for dry cleaning for the sheriff's uniforms and the correctional facility uniforms, and we're looking to enter into a 3-year contract with them.
And you've had Colonial Cleaners in the past, is that correct?
Right, yeah, it's ongoing.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 5189. Department is Emergency Telephone E911. The vendor is JTL2. The estimated amount is $75,000. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/24. And the scope of services are: JTL2 will provide an on-site GIS service and support for our CDPS, 911, and mobile mapping. It's 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
That is also me. At 911, when somebody calls in, fall, a map is pulled up on our computer screen. This particular vendor will provide updates and support for the mapping services for the next 5 years at an annual cost of $15,000 per year.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 5247. The department is our legislature. The vendor is Audio Video. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. To remove existing cameras, switcher, and ancillary devices in the legislature chambers as needed, install new cameras, switcher, and multi-view monitor, as well as converters and ancillary devices in the chambers, remove obsolete cabling throughout the chambers, configure the test new equipment for quality and functionality, and provide system training in conjunction with Ross Video. And this is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Mr. Ridley, it's Mr. Kennedy's here. If I get any questions, he's willing to speak up.
It's not going to be HD, is it?
Yes,
That's not going to favor me very well.
that's the problem now, we're just getting standard definition, so we're just upgrading all equipment, as he just said, and so now it'll be a lot better.
That's great.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried. Next, we have contract 5251. The department is our nursing home. The vendor is Cintas Corporation. The estimated amount is $90,000. The estimated term is 36 months. The scope of service: Cintas to provide uniforms, jackets, hats, and other ancillary clothing as directed by purchase order, and it's 100% county funded.
Thank you. Cintas is our uniform company. As part of our rebranding, we are now changing the logo on our uniforms and standardizing what staff wear at the nursing home. Traditionally, in the past, they wore uniforms, but that of their choosing. We're now going to standardize the uniforms and have each department have a specific color and design. There'll be an initial investment for uniforms, and then over 3 years, there are certain departments by collective bargaining agreement, we need to supply uniforms, and then certain departments get a uniform allowance, and they will buy their own uniforms going forward, but will utilize this company, which we do not pay for. They get their uniform allowances is only for those over 3 years that we're responsible.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think it's a great idea. Next is contract 5188, Department of Sewage Treatment. The vendor is High Voltage Electric Service, Inc. The estimated amount is $75,000. The estimated term is 1 month. The scope of service is emergency repair of high voltage switch GESE 100S that is supplying the South Plant Preliminary Treatment Building with power which feeds the aeration system and is 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Yeah, so on November 19th, we had a catastrophic failure at our substation. We lost a high voltage switch, so thereby we lost power to our aeration system, which is the heart of our treatment system. So we contracted with High Voltage Services to come in and basically rebuild the switch. They replaced all the insulators. We had an issue where they arced through the insulators and then basically took out both feeds. So this work was for the repair of the switch. And I'm happy to report they were able to get it up within 2 days.
That's great.
Of us, giving them the work, so they did a good job with it.
Good. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried. Next is contract number 5214. Department is Mental Health. The vendor is Catholic Charities. The estimated amount is $41,605. The scope of service is to provide case management services to homeless women suffering from mental illness or co-occurring disorders at Mercy House. Staff seeks to link women with treatment and permanent housing. This is 100% state funded. Open the floor for comments or questions.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is a renewal of an ongoing program that's been very successful in our community. As you mentioned, it's 100% state funded, and we have been overseeing this contract for quite a few years.
That's great. Anytime we can get money out of the state to help us out, that's great.
Got a couple more of those.
Any other further comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is Contract 5231, Mental Health. The vendor is Counseling Care and Services. The estimated amount is $22,595. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. The scope of service: provide mental health assessment, referral, and treatment service to individuals being treated in their clinic. They also provide an employee assistance program to mental health patients employed in Albany County and 100% state funded. And I'll open the floor for comments or questions.
This is also a long-standing program. It's a small program in Cohoes. They are unique in that they provide mental health counseling for individuals with mental illness who are employed, and they serve as an employee assistance program throughout the county for a variety of local programs. Also, they run a clinic for the Cohoes area, and they've been very successful.
Great. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Contract number 5232, Mental Health. Vendor is IMA Information Management Associates. The estimated amount is $99,270. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. The scope of service for the ongoing subscription and license agreement for operation of patient and billing software that includes web-based access for clinicians, patient portal access, implementation of billing modules, e-signature capabilities, New York State Clinical Records Initiative compliance, and use of the e-prescribing and expansion of EHR system. Now, this is broken down into two fiscal impacts. The county will be 74% of this contract, and the state will be 26% of the contract. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
That is correct. This is a company that we've worked with for many years. We have a large mental health direct care part of our business, and this is essentially our medical records. We've upgraded it substantially in recent years. It is state-of-the-art. It allows us to do a lot of electronic things like prescribing, as you mentioned. And we have a caseload over 1,000 individuals that we maintain through the medical record system.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next is contract number 5206. The department is narcotic addiction. The vendor is Albany Diocesan School Board. The estimated amount is $44,260. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. The scope of service provides evidence-based substance abuse prevention services to students attending Albany County Catholic schools, and this is 100% federally funded.
That is correct. Federal funding comes through our state agency, OASIS. This is a renewal of a long-standing contract. There are equivalent programs in all of the public schools in the area, and the diocese for many years has been providing prevention services, which is part of the three legs of the stool: prevention, treatment, and recovery services. They've been very successful.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome. Thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda is contract number 5176. Department is Children, Youth, and Families. The vendor is the Berkshire Farm Center and Services for Youth. The estimated amount is $96,659. The estimated term is 10/1/19 through 9/30/20. The scope of service is family assessment intervention services. Now, this fiscal impact is broken down into two. The county will be paying 38% of this, and the state will be paying 62% of this. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Thank you. The Family Assessment Intervention is an evidence-based program, or I should say curriculum, and really we're looking at two portals. It's two-pronged. One being to avoid a child going in front of the family court judge, so they would meet with a clinician and really identify what are the strengths and what are the needs of the family. Hopefully develop a safety plan so that child can be returned back into the community. The second part of the prong is really looking at children that do need to go to detention, either secure or non-secure. And what they would do is really work with that child from day one in order to decrease the amount of days that the child is going to be in care. So that's the program.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is contract number 5140. Department is Aging. The vendor is Community Caregivers, Inc. The estimated amount is $22,800. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. The scope of service, the contractor should provide in-home contract and support services for isolated and homebound older adults 60+ that reside in Albany County. Service include friendly visiting to provide socialization, shopping assistance, and telephone assurance counseling. Now, this is also broken down into two fiscal impacts. The county will pick up 10%, and the federal government will pick up 90%. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Community Caregivers is our only contractor that will be handling this service. Roughly with $22,800 for the year, they'll handle about 1,200 contacts of the shopping assistance, the friendly visiting, and the telephone assurance. The nice thing about this program also is that they offer those three services, but on the flip side of it, it also gives them an opportunity to check the older adults' circumstances and conditions when they're doing that, and report if anything's changed.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is Contract 5141. The Department is Aging. The vendor is Catholic Charity Senior and Caregiver Support Services. The estimated amount is $50,825. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. The scope of services, the contractor should provide services to Albany County caregivers of older adults 60+ and grandparents caring for children. Their services shall include public information and assistance, support groups, and caregiver training, respite, and MDS Compass assessments. Now, this is broken down once again into two fiscal impacts. The county will pick up 25% of this, and the federal government will pick up 75%. I now open the floor for comment or questions.
Well, just to point out too, the next four contracts are the same type of service. It's caregiver contacts and support, and we RFP'd this program, got the 5 existing contractors that do this service for us. So Catholic Charities, Community Caregivers, LifePath, and the Town of Colony will offer all types of the 6 caregiver services within the program, offering the caregivers respite, information support, and counseling to roughly about 1,000 caregivers.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to entertain a motion that we bundle 5141, 5143, 5151, and 5153 into one motion.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Okay, so for the record, 5141, the estimated amount is going to be $50,825. 5143 is $33,330. 5151 is $31,421, and 5153 is $30,000. And again, they all have the same estimated term of 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. It's a one-year program. Any other comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is contract number 5174. The department is Audit and Control. The vendor is Sterling Environmental Engineering, PC. The estimated amount, Mr. Thalen?
I believe this has a discrepancy of $100,000 on the packet you have, and the actual price, which should be $76,800, which is on the agenda. So if we can make that reflect.
Correct. Okay, so the estimated term for this will be 6 to 12 months, and the scope of services will be updating the 2011 Albany County Regional Solid Waste Authority feasibility study, the final report. The updated study will have a primary focus on Albany County. This is 100% county-funded money, and I now open the floor for comments or questions.
If I may speak, the study, Controller Connors refinanced bonds earlier this year to pay for the study. This is going to update the 2011 study that was done by Barton LaJudas. We went out to RFP, received in all of the information, graded it, and we sent it to this body for review and for award, and we understand that you guys can choose whoever you want, but our recommendation is Sterling.
Okay, I do have a question.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned that the Controller's Office is overseeing this project on the RFP end of it, but yet sending it off to the County Executive's Office in accordance with your letter here that you submitted with the...
Yep, so what we did is...
Can you tell me why?
Yep, we spoke to the county executive, I spoke to members of the county executive staff, indicated that, you know, the money was budgeted through the refinancing of bonds, was put into the fees for service line. It is something that the legislature did request back in 2017. It was approved unanimously for an update on the study. That should also be in the packet. Controller Connors was going through some things, talking to legislators, found money to wind up paying for it, and through my conversations with the executive's staff, that they would wind up doing that going forward.
So the Controller's Office has reached out to the County Executive, and they're fully aware that this will fall into their lap?
I made the conversations and I spoke to them as I sit here before you.
Okay. I am going to make a recommendation here because I am not completely, I'm not satisfied, that's not the wrong word, that's the wrong word. I'm not completely, I'm going to make a recommendation that we make a motion to send this to the Law Department for further review. I think that there's more to this than I know about, and I'm not hearing anything from the County Executive's Office telling me that they have worked hand in hand with the County Controller to do this feasibility study, and I think this needs to be reviewed a little bit further than just the cab right now. That's my opinion. If you want to comment on that, please do.
I'm not the county controller. I don't want to comment, Mr. Hidley, on what I think. The money is appropriated. It was a request by the legislature. I'm sure that the chairman of the legislature can speak to that with resolution from 2017. The money, I know that I've had conversations with the chairman's staff about having the legislature wind up doing this, as well as with the county executive staff. And it is something that, seeing as there was a request, it is a study that needs to be done, according to some, or at least 39 at one time. So money was found, it's presented before, and like I said, I spoke to those individuals that were handling that topic in the executive staff, and they were, when I said that, you know, money was fees for service and that they would have the money to wind up going forward with the study, they did not seem to have a problem with that.
Well, I'm very uncomfortable is what I'm saying.
Well, you have the former Department of Law sitting right next to the new county the deputy county executive. I don't know if he wants to.
Based upon the conversation that you two are having, I'm abstaining from a vote if a vote takes place today anyhow, based upon those dual capacities that I've had, one as county attorney and now as deputy county executive. So I'm going to exit this conversation, and if the board decides to take a vote, it's going to be with my abstention.
Has there been any conversation with the comptroller-elect about whether or not she feels appropriate to carry out the program?
Well, seeing as it's going to the executive and it's no longer under the controller's purview.
There's not going to be any more?
No, it's all going to be under the county executive, but it's not going to be under the controller.
Okay. I think your issue is the transfer of responsibility or funding from one separately elected to another.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Mr. Signoracci, I've never seen that in any of my CAD meetings or any of the business that we dealt with, where one elected official delegates it to another elected official without some kind of documentation in here that other elected official is willing to take on those duties and responsibilities.
Well, this, you know, it is an important study, and...
It is. I'm not-
As you mentioned, that members of the legislature strongly support it. It's worth looking into, but as you said, this is kind of abnormal, so transfer of money between one separately elected to another. If you're comfortable having the law department review this, tabling it for another month, and...
By that time, you're going to be outside the 90 days of the contract, and then the whole thing would have to be scrapped and redone.
Why is it getting into it so late then?
Well, no, it would still be able, if, as long as the vendors don't retract their proposals, the proposals would still be good.
We tried to get in last month, but there wasn't quorum. So, I just want to say that it's not so late, Mr. Headley.
Well, I've expressed my concerns.
Understood.
Expressed my concerns. That I'm really, I don't see anything here from the county executive's office solidifying the fact that they're willing to take on this study after, if it gets passed today, which I'm not saying it's not going to. But there should have been something in this packet through the county executive's office saying that they agreed to do this once CAB pushes this through.
That's my mistake for not getting that. I spoke and I never requested that. I did not think I needed to do it, so that is on me. And I apologize before the board.
Let's get something in writing for next month.
I would say, can you get me something in writing by the end of the week?
I'll get you in something in writing. I will go and talk to the staff that I spoke to and get you something done. So if you can pass it contingent upon my letter, I will wind up...
And I will do that. So be it.
Okay. I will wind up...
You are comfortable with that?
Yes, as long as you are.
So I'm going to make a motion here that we pass this specific request from the Comptroller's office with the contingency that we get a letter from Mr. Signoracci or Mr. Connors, whichever, that the county executive has agreed to implement this program once it's approved here.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
And one abstention.
One abstention.
For the record.
Heading up there right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph.
Next on the agenda is contract number 5239. The department is Maintenance, Roads, and Buildings. The vendor is Labella Associates. The estimated amount is $55,925. The estimated term is 3 years, 2/1/20 through 2/1/23. The scope of service, design and construction inspection service for remediation system and contaminated soil at Department of Public Works. The fiscal impact is 100% to the county. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Hi.
Here she is.
This is a contract that will come up with a design to remediate a fuel leakage that occurred at Albany County DPW some years ago. We have been monitoring the fuel spillage and trying to get a grasp of the boundary of it. This contract is going to go a step forward and put together a full design plan on how to remediate it. Labella was the lowest responsible bidder for the design.
Any other comments or questions?
Any indication of how big it is now? Just kind of...
We do. We have several monitors in the ground, and so far, what's happening is less and less fuel is being removed from the locations, which is indicating that we're almost fully contained. But we don't want to move forward until we get a few more test pits put in and get a full-blown design. So.
Do they know what caused the leak?
Prior to me getting my position, I understand there was a fuel tank underground that had seepage, and so it was a fuel tank.
Gasoline?
Yes.
Is it limited to county property? Do you know?
It's within the county property.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Good luck with that. Next is contract number 5134. Department is Road Machinery Maintenance. The vendor is Safety Clean Systems, Inc. The estimated term is 1/2/20 through 12/31/22, which is 3 years. The estimated amount is $54,000. The scope of service, the removal of hazardous waste from DPW main garage located at 449 New Salem Road in Voorheesville. The yearly amount of $18,000 a year is based on an estimated usage and is 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Hi, yes. The hazardous waste spoken of in this letter is, they're solvents such as engine oil fluid and antifreeze. And so on a yearly basis, we have to have our tanks pumped with the waste removal. And so Safety Clean has been under contract with us over the last several years. They were the lowest responsible bidder for this project again. And so we're asking to enter into a contract for 1 year with the option of 2 one-year renewals beyond that.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 5253. The department is Public Works. The vendor is Jackson Demolition Service. The estimated term is 6 months, 2/1/20 through 7/31/20. The scope of services is the asbestos removal and demolition of 1538 New Scotland Avenue. Is 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Hi again. This is a contract for asbestos removal and also demolition of a structure that's located at the Slingerlands Trailhead along the rail trail. The county assessed the condition of the building when we acquired the property and determined that it wouldn't be cost-effective to try to bring the building up to current code. And in lieu of that, we're proposing taking down the building and putting a park in the area adjacent to the trail.
Good idea. Any other comments or questions?
This is probably 1538 New Scotland Road, right?
Yes.
Okay, it just says Avenue in the scope of service, make sure that we're...
Oh, yes, it's New Scotland Road.
Thank you for the correction. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried.
If there's a 1538 New Scotland Ave, they're probably going to be surprised when it pulls up. So let's
Make sure that we double check that one.
Who gave us that address? That damn cab board. Contract number 5246, Department of General Services. The vendor is Arnoff Moving and Storage, Inc. The estimated amount is $36,000. The estimated term is 12/6/19 through 3/6/20. The scope of service is rather long, so I'll ask the commissioner to please let us know what's going on here. The fiscal impact is 100% to the county. The estimated amount is $36,000.
Yes, this is to move all the equipment that Department of General Services cannot move from the Board of Elections. We put a bid out to we asked the New York State contractors to come in and take a look. They're usually the ones that move their machines and their equipment at the time of the polling. 2 bidders showed up, but Arnoff was the only bidder that put a bid in, and they are guaranteeing us that they will be out of the Board of Elections, close of business on December 31st.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Carried. Next is contract 5233, Building Services Department. Vendor is Reynolds Drapery Service, Inc. The estimated amount is $20,125. The estimated term is 11/1/19 through 10/31/20. Scope of service to provide, install tracking and draperies at the Times Union Center as indicated in the attached proposal, an amended proposal. It's 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, this is an amendment to the contract for Reynolds Drapery. At the time that this was done, this was the purchase of the equipment. The additional $3,800 is for the installation of the draperies. They're still, with this price, they're still the lowest responsive bidder.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstention? Carried. And contract 5256, Department is Building Services, vendor is Landmark Flooring Concepts, estimated amount is $26,485, estimated term is 12/23/19 through 5/31/20. The scope of service replace carpet of the Controller's Department at 112 State Street. It's 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, we were requested by the new comptroller coming in to have our carpet replaced under the New York State contract for $26,485 to cover her upstairs.
Is that the whole floor?
Yes. That's her department.
Just her?
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried.
Thank you.
Next is contract number 5136, Department of Central Purchasing. The vendor is Gals, Inc. The estimated amount is $60,000. The estimated term is 1/11/19 through 1/10/20. The scope of service, law enforcement equipment and safety supplies to be purchased by various departments. Budget lines are selected for recently purchased items. It's 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
This is our final renewal for this contract, and this is a contract that many local law enforcement throughout New York State piggyback off of our contract.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Contract number 5257, the department is law. The vendor is West Publishing / Thompson Reuters. The estimated amount is $69,000. The estimated term is 1/1/20 through 12/31/20. The scope of service encloses a complete request for contract approval and supporting documentation relative to a contract with Thompson Reuters for service to provide the county's legal departments with online legal research and an online book subscription. It is 100% county funded. Now open the floor for comments or questions.
Just note my abstention, Mr. Chair. This is a contract that I actually negotiated while in the Department of Law.
Thank you.
I will take this one if everyone doesn't mind for the last cab of the year. This is the 1 year for the online research materials that both the law department, public defender, and alternate public defender. The portion, I believe 44%, is charged back to the public defender's office, which in turn is billed, half of that is billed to the state as part of ILS.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
One abstention. Passed. I would now like to entertain a motion to close the CAB meeting at 3:20 PM.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Before we leave, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and to all you and your families, and also a very Happy New Year, as we won't have another CAB meeting until after 2020 takes the reins.